Hello, scholars, and welcome to today's science lesson. Yesterday, we did our investigation about water erosion, and we conducted an experiment, and we were trying to see how can we stop or slow water erosion. Today, we're going to explore and investigate how can we prevent wind erosion. Let's go ahead and take a look at the definition of erosion again. Erosion is when tiny pieces of the Earth's surface are moved from one place to another. This is usually caused by moving water or wind. Erosion usually happens very slowly. So a clue to help us remember what erosion is that silly movement that we did yesterday, where we kind of go like this, just like that scientist did, to represent erosion, where pieces of Earth are moving from one spot to another. So today we're going to use that same concept, and we're going to test it out with sand, and we're going to be using a straw to create the winds. Now, we're first going to take a look at my experiment, and we're going to see what happens when we have wind erosion and the damage that it can cause. Then afterwards, I'll explain what you're going to do to model the same investigation at home. So let me go ahead and push pause for a minute because I need to change out of my regular glasses to my safety goggles because I really don't want any sand in my eyes. Next, I'm going to put on my safety gloves and move my hair back so that I can do this investigation safely. So if you are following along, make sure that you get your materials ready in the same way and you're practicing safety when doing your investigation. So let me get our experiment set up and then we'll get started. All right, so here is my model here. Now, I used a different bottle today, and I made my opening a little bit smaller because I am going to be blowing sand, and I don't want the sand to go on the sides here, so I want to be very careful when I'm blowing, and so I made my opening smaller. Now, in your model, and in my model, I am using Play-Doh to represent my house. Now, our challenge is we're going to pretend that we are moving to the desert. And let me give you a quick little tip to help you see your document clearer. These three little dots here, you're going to move them all the way down. And that's going to make your document big. And then you're going to use the zoom button and click 100% to zoom in. Now, I'm not going to zoom in just yet because I want to be able to show these at the same time. But I'm going to read our challenge. We're going to imagine we're getting ready to move to the desert and you need to block your house from wind erosion. You're going to be brainstorming ideas how you can create what you could create to block the wind. You can use materials that I suggest or any materials that you have. And you're going to create a little makeshift house to include in your model. And so as you see on the paper here, we have the wind. That's going to be represented with my straw here. We have our hill of sand, which we have here. And then we have the house, which is represented by my Play-Doh in there. So I'm going to first show you what the negative effect of wind erosion is. And then you're going to start and plan how can we prevent that from happening? How can we stop or slow down that wind erosion from happening? So I'm going to go ahead and carefully get my straw. And I'm going to be blowing some of the sand. As I'm blowing, I'm going to be using my other hand here to kind of cover around me so that I don't get any winds in my room because I'm inside today because it's very hot outside. And again, I'm wearing my safety goggles to make sure that I get no sand in my eyes. So let me get my straw ready and let me get ready to blow the sand to make wind erosion. And as I'm blowing the sand, be sure to look very closely about what's happening to my home. All right, here we go. All right, what did you notice happened when I was blowing the sand in my straw? What happened to the house? Now I'm going to go ahead and try my best to stick this inside so we can take a better look. at the house. It's a little bit tricky. All right, there we go. So what do you notice happened with my house? Where did that sand go? Would I be able to live safely in the desert like that? So now it's your job to create a plan, and you want to figure out how can you stop that wind erosion from happening. You want to be able to put something right behind the house or in front of the house to prevent all that sand from going on it, over it, and in it. So now you're going to be taking a look at your worksheet. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just a little bit so you have a better look at it. And again, to help you see your worksheet even better, click that zoom button and click 100%. And it's going to zoom in a lot closer. And you can do this for any of your assignments. So again, you're going to imagine that you're getting ready to move to the desert. You need to block your house from wind erosion. Brainstorm what items you could create to block the winds. And you're going to use any materials that I suggest or any materials that you have around you and your house. And you're going to make sure that you use something to represent your house inside your model. Now here, go ahead and draw your structure right behind the house. Remember, good scientists always plans first. So draw your structure and your plan out. And then you can draw the sand coming down from the winds. And then show me how your structure is going to stop the house. Now it's time for you to model it yourself. If you have a bottle or a tub or a container, go ahead and fill it with sand if that's available to you. You can also use soil and pretend that is sand as well. And get a straw. And you're going to blow that sand very carefully. Make sure you have something to cover your eyes. And then you're going to test out your idea. Explain to me what happened when you tested your idea. Did it stop or slow the wind erosion? Why or why not? Then you're going to click inside this box. Got a little trick here. So click the little arrow here. There we go. So you're going to type out what happened. So when I tested my structure, and then tell me what happened. It did or did not work because, or explain what other ideas you might have if your experiment didn't work. What could you use in a different way? And you can also type that out as well. Now, if you don't have the materials, you can still participate today. I still want you to try your best to draw a structure here to show me what can you build to stop wind erosion. And then you can just make a prediction down here. Do you think your idea would work? Why or why not? And then you can send this to your teacher using your Class Dojo portfolio, or just take a picture and send it to them in a message in Class Dojo. But I am very excited to see what ideas you guys have. I love that you're enjoying science and I love teaching it to you. So please be sure to send me your ideas or your teacher's ideas, and I'll take a look at them. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's investigation. I will see you guys next time.